We are past the trade deadline, which means a lot of interesting FAAB options going this week. We got a lot to talk about, all coming up next in the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. Happy Sunday night, everybody. Welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I am Scott Jenstad, joined as always on Sunday nights by Jeff Erickson. If you could please rate and review the podcast, we would greatly appreciate that. Jeff, it's August. It's crazy. This season's going really fast. We had the trade deadline, which was maybe not like massive names, a couple of them, but man, there were a lot of trades going on.
Yeah, there were 36 on trade deadline day. Pretty impressive.
That is wild.
And the Mason Milw one had some shock value to it too. So many closers getting dealt, period. This delivered. It wasn't quite like David Price going at his peak, going at the trade deadline or something like that, where the David Price one was kind of a surprise, especially going to Toronto. This was active, at least. Almost every single team did something.
It was like every player that had rumored to get traded, got traded. It was like one of those things, like all those guys moved.
Except a lot of them didn't, though. Robert didn't get dealt.
I don't know.
The two Marlins pitchers didn't get dealt. Zach Gallen.
Marlins won too many freaking games going the last 2 weeks. They just they couldn't deal them. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. But I mean, I guess I was more thinking relievers. I felt like all the relievers that were supposed to get dealt got dealt, except for maybe Kenley Jansen. But the Angels are kind of still lingering out there. But I felt like a lot of the closers that we were going to get dealt did get dealt.
I don't go in too long of an Angels diatribe, but I thought they were bizarro. That they added two pitchers from the Nats who they picked up off the waiver wire and traded for them. It's something that seems like that would happen in our fantasy leagues, but but you know what though? I mean, that AL wild card bubble is so Charmin soft.
Yep.
And the Angels have been sellers so many times. I kind of get it. But Kenley Jansen was signed to be traded. I'm still surprised he didn't get traded. They're 5.5 out, even after winning today. They're 5.5 out on the wild card. And more importantly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams ahead of them.
That's the thing. There's so many teams. It's just a couple teams get cold, but man, a couple of teams ahead, you're going to get hot. It's tough. I mean, Rays, Royals, Guardians, Rangers ahead of them before they get to the Mariners. It's a tough road, but yeah, not fully out of it, but minus 67 run differential. I don't think we're thinking this is a very good team. They just don't have the starting pitching.
No, they don't. And they really don't have the relief pitching either. If you think about it.
Yeah, but I guess that's fair. Detmers and Jansen have been good, but aside from that, and then just you look at the rotation. It's just when you're throwing Kyle Hendricks and Jack Kakanowitz out there every week, it's rough.
Yep, exactly. Kakanowitz got sent down, made one minor league start, clearly fixed everything in that time.
Yeah.
So that was kind of bizarro, but yeah. Nonetheless though, hey, I came away from the trade deadline exhausted, first of all, and pretty satisfied.
How'd you feel about the Reds trade deadline?
At first I was nonplussed, and I'm still kind of that way. My tweet was I'll stand on my tweet because, that's how I speak to the public, but, it's the Tony Soprano line post coma. Like, every trade is great, but why does it have to be a pair of socks? It was nice that they are going for it. It's more than the Sam Moll trade they did 2 years ago when they were in better position. It's weird that they were more active this year than they were 2 years ago. But I don't quite get the Ke'Bryan Hayes deal when there's so much commitment to him in the long term. If it was like, okay, we'll take a flyer on him for the next year and a half, see if we can turn him around. Great. Right. The defense is supposed to be great. It wasn't in his first game. He had a horrible error that cost Andrew Abbott a win.
But he hit a 3-run homer.
Yeah, to lead the 8-run comeback only for them to lose again later.
There were 4 games that night that were insane. That was a crazy night of baseball.
It was. Yeah. And then Friday night was bonkers too. Yeah. Friday night you had the Marlins, Yankees, and then you had Rockies, Pirates.
Which was 9-0 Pirates and 16-10 in the 8th. And
only the Pirates could blow that game, and only I could have already had Dennis Santana active in a league before the big FAAB run, because I'm in an only league where I've been carrying Santana all year, and he's been great. Remember, Bednar lost that job briefly early on, so I just held on to Santana.
His ERA was under 2 before that game, and he just got smoked in that game. And I was telling you, I think I texted you, I'm like, all the people that have Santana didn't have him in, and you're like, yeah, I had him in. But for the most part, yeah, people avoided that one. But It was wild. I want to talk about a couple of the closers trade before we kind of jump into other stuff. And this is kind of fantasy based to start out with here. I know there's a lot of regular baseball to talk about. We'll talk fantasy first though. Talk to me about the Mason Milw trade. It was I think the name we talked about last week, and I thought that if you're an A's fan, you hate it. You just hate to see a guy like that leave, but it makes sense. I think it from a front office standpoint, they got the number 3 prospect on MLB's list in the entire league, not the Padres' third prospect, the overall third prospect, which is incredible. I just think that you trade a closer. I know he has 4 years of control, so I get it from San Diego's aspect, but I think you trade a reliever when you get an offer like that.
Yeah, I think so. I absolutely think so. It cost him Sears also, and I don't think that's a negligible addition to that deal, especially because Sears has years of control too. And I think he'll pitch pretty well in San Diego. But yes, you do that. Does Washington do the James Wood trade, Juan Soto trade every time? Yes, they do. Yep. Wood's current slump notwithstanding. Yeah. Moore's current slump notwithstanding. You still do that trade 10 times out of 10 if you know that you're not going to be able to hold on to Soto. And the difference here is it's a relief pitcher. I mean, Miller has got 3.5 years still, like 4.5 years. I don't even know.
I think it's
4.5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's worth the hefty price. And that's why it doesn't compare to any of the other reliever trades. Like Helsley is a free agent in 2 months. You can't compare those two situations. I'm ticked off though, if I, have Miller, because
that was my fancy question for you. Like, you got a top whatever closer, I don't want to ballpark it, top 10 closer. It looks like Suarez. Suarez is leading the league in saves, so it's not like they're having, someone that is questionable. He's been really good. What do you think they do? Do you think that, at some point they traded this much for Mason Milw. They want him to close at some point. I imagine in playoff games, they probably want him there in the 9th inning, but you're not just dropping Suarez out of there. He's earned the right to stay there. Do you think they're like waiting for him to blow a couple games and then make the move? Do you think they just want a stud 8th and 9th inning and kind of go from there? What do you think their breakdown is here as we go down the stretch? How many saves do you think Miller gets the last 2 months?
I think it's like 5 or less.
I do too.
I don't think they change unless Suarez gives them a reason to change.
I agree completely. I think Suarez will have to lose it for Miller to take over.
And, Suarez did have a couple of rough patches. He blew a save last week. So, it's still possible. He gave up the homer to the Mets. He actually, blew the save, got the win. That's how it worked out. Yep. So, it could have worked out a lot worse. But
Ronnie Mauricio smoked that ball.
Yeah, he sure did. Yep. Last time Robert Suarez allowed a walk?
I don't, but the way you say it's gonna be like, I was gonna say like 6 weeks. So that's about right. Yeah.
June 29th. Wow. You got the loss against the Reds, blew the save against that one. It was a ugly ending to an ugly series for the Padres in that one there. Gave up 4 hits and a walk, 2 runs and a walk off on that one there. But he's been good. He's been, he had a couple of rough patches, but 47-12 K to walk. We were worried about the walks a little bit with him earlier in the season. He had that bad series against the Angels, and he's bounced back and went a month without allowing a walk. I can see why it's not just even political. It might be like Mason Miller. You are our high leverage fireman now. Yeah. And we're going to have Suarez. He does a good job in the 9th. We want to leave him in the 9th. We stop him from trying to get 4-out saves now. I think that, even though the thing is, they have great other relievers, but their bullpen is so taxed that I think they just wanted to lengthen this bullpen, and they did that.
You could argue in 2002, the Angels won the World Series because they had a high leverage fireman in the bullpen. K-Rod was unbelievable in that whole playoff run and leading up to it. So it's a huge weapon to have. Mason Miller's awesome, but Suarez is a 20% K- walk. Interesting comment in the chat. Kelly Ugansky, who's is a good listener, said he thinks they try Mason Miller as a starter in 2026.
I did see that the night before, actually, the trade even happened. I heard that Preller was in on Miller, and they want to use him as a starter someday. Man,
I wouldn't do it. I think he gets hurt as a starter. I think he's perfectly built for closing, but I get it. You pay the money, and he doesn't make a lot of money, but if you have the contract, maybe you want him to throw 150, 160 innings, and you get him out there more. But man, I'd worry about that profile starting games and throwing 100 pitches in the game.
Yep. And Joe, we both Scott and I faded Suarez too. So raising hand here on that.
I certainly did. I take the blame on that one. I blew that one. He's been really, really good. He was bad in the last couple months last year, and I just kind of thought it would continue, and I was wrong there. But
yeah.
So do you hold Mason Miller? I'd say 15 teamers, obviously. What about a 12 or a 10 teamer? Are you like a hold Miller? Do you start him? Are you put him on the bench in case Suarez blows up? What are you doing with Miller?
So many other pitchers are dropping like flies right now that I figure I can find a use for Miller.
I do too.
And Helsley too, by the way. I don't know what's on our list.
That was my next question with Helsley. I kept Helsley into 15 and dropped him into 12 is where I kind of came onto it. I just think I think Diaz has to get hurt. I don't think Diaz can lose it on performance, whereas I think Suarez can lose it on performance. It's a little bit different to me. I think Diaz would have to get hurt for Helsley to get saves, and it's hard. We got 10 weeks left, 9 weeks left. I think Helsley gets 3 or 4 saves. It just wasn't worth it to me in a 12-teamer. Even though I love the pitcher, I kept him in a 15 because I think he's usable in 15. I think in a 12, I can find better options.
Probably, but yeah, and especially if you're like competing for saves, yes. If you're trying to protect ratios, maybe not.
Yep.
I think it just depends on your outlook. I mean, I think Diaz is just as capable of losing his job as Suarez is. Diaz has lost his job with the Mets before. It's not like this. It'd be like this far-flung exercise.
It's just been it's been like 6 years since that, though.
It was like 2 years ago.
I thought it was 2019 when he was bad.
No, I mean, remember, so he comes back from the knee injury, and I think he had 19 saves that first year back, and he was in and out as the closer.
That was last year?
Last year, 20 saves. Yeah, 20 saves. So, I mean, it could happen. I mean, he pitched the whole year, and he only got 20 saves.
And he was still really good last year.
7 blown saves.
I think he just had a little bit of bad luck in the saves. He's still really good. You're right, but he's 144.92 right now. I don't think there's any way he loses that job performance unless he just goes in the tank, which I
just think that control can come and go with him sometimes.
That's fair. He's got about 10% walk rate. So yeah, I just think that I think he's pretty ingrained there. I don't know. You could be right. If he blows up and loses that job, I'd be really bummed out dropping Helsley. But for context, that league I need strikeouts and wins, and I'm pretty good in saves. So it's one of those things that I can use that spot for starters. And
yeah. I just one other aside. I know we're going to talk FAAB about him later on here. I just felt the FAAB closer market was way more underwhelming than I thought it was going to be. I thought, we're going to have all these opportunities, and like the best opportunity was rostered in many cases. In the case of Randy Rodriguez, and in many other cases, there's it's uncertain who it's going to be. They're going to be god awful teams.
Cade Smith was almost universally owned in the main event. Too.
Yes,
another name. Yeah. So there was some guys that were mostly owned. You're right. There was not like that, out of nowhere. And then we'll talk about teams later. We got like the Cardinals, the Orioles, the A's. We just don't know who the guy is. So maybe there will be a find of them. And you look at Emilio Pagan, turned out to be a great find. We didn't think that was going to happen, but a lot of teams traded closers and didn't fill with one guy.
Yeah. Exactly right. So we'll talk more about that later, but yes.
How about the Marlins, Jeff? They won 5 straight, swept the Yankees this weekend. They're now 7 back in the NL East, 5.5 back in the wild card. They are tied. I think they're just about tied with the Giants and Cardinals. They're better than both those teams. I'm going to go ahead and just say that. If someone wants to argue me, that's fine. But I take the Marlins over the Giants and Cardinals right now easily. Maybe right in there with the Reds. Do you think they can catch San Diego or New York? Do you think that's too much to ask for the Marlins to fully get in this, or do you think they got a shot?
I mean, they have a shot. They played the Brewers tough a couple weekends ago. Remember, in Milwaukee. Yes, we've been roundly justifiably chastised for underestimating him earlier in the season, especially on the hitting side of things.
Yeah. Connor Norby has all kinds of issues with you underestimating the Marlins.
Well, no, that's the thing is, it used to be the Connor Norby trade. And the funny thing is I tweeted about this too. We mocked it from the, especially the Orioles perspective.
Yep.
That Trevor Rogers for Stowers and Norby trade. And we're like, well, at least they only gave up Stowers and Norby. I think that phrase might've been uttered by me, you, or both of us at some point in time.
Yeah. Right. At least they didn't give up Coby Mayo.
Yeah. Although Coby Mayo is one of the winners from the trade deadline. We'll get into
it too.
Yes. But Rogers is nails right now.
Don't look now. Since June 1st, I think Trevor Rogers is second in baseball in ERA. So
they kind of believe that they could fix him, and sure enough, they have. But I mean, just a year too late is the problem. But it is the Kyle Stowers trade too. It's really a win-win deal. Stowers is so good.
Stowers is like top 5 in NLVP right now. I mean, he's not like up there winning it, but he's got to be top 10 at least, maybe top 5. I mean, 20 homer a day, so 25, 71 RBI, hitting 296, Jeff, believe it or not. Crazy. 20% barrel rate. It's probably a little higher after day with the home run. He's been unbelievably good.
Yep. Yeah.
Go Stanford. Yeah.
And the Marlins, they trade away Jesus Sanchez and they fill right back in with Jakob Marsee, who's looking pretty good so far. Their best power in the minors, but maybe, and I know they don't have a ton of power hitting prospects in the minors, but it's kind of funny that all along we're like, De Los Santos, can't wait for them to call him up. Who? Devison De Los Santos? He's never been mentioned once on this podcast since draft season.
Yep.
And Marsee has had this great year instead. And I think they will miss Sanchez a little bit. I think it was a good ad by the Astros, but it's interesting. They just backfilled right away with that. Got another pitcher. They have like 7 pitchers for next year, maybe more. We'll see. I'm still surprised they didn't trade Sandy, but I'm sure they were just getting lowballed. They could turn around and do it again in the offseason.
If they get Sandy going somehow, I know it hasn't happened all year, but man, you go Yuri Perez and Edward Cabrera, 2 really good pitchers right now. You can just get Sandy going, man. That top 3 would be really, really good and tough, but he just can't quite get it going. Cal Quantrill, he's been good lately, but I don't think we trust that. Jansen Junk's been okay, but I don't know. If you get Sandy going, I think they can make a run. But I think they're going to need him to get going to make a run.
Yep. And this with like one of the cheaper rosters in baseball, they really have become Rays NL, except for the Brewers are also Rays NL. So
the Brewers are always Rays NL every year.
They might be, the Braves might be Brewers AL. We might have to be going that way to phrase it that way soon, but
Red Sox on fire too, Jeff. 5 straight wins, 8-2 the last 10. They're 3 back at Toronto. You look at the standings, and then the Yankees are in 3rd. I mean, Toronto.
I was just gonna say, passing the Yankees too.
Boston's right there. Are we going Rafael Devers for the Ewing theory in 2025?
Except didn't they win one with him? Doesn't the Ewing theory mean you can't ever win one?
They definitely Devers definitely won one, right? 2018. It's just funny that they got rid of him and all of a sudden they've taken off. I mean, I tell you what, we talked about the rookies and Red Sox. I know Christian Campbell didn't work out. Marcelo Maya didn't work out. They got hurt, but
not yet. Anthony, but they could work out still.
They probably will work out. But man, Robin Anthony is just freaking good. That guy, he just hits everything hard. He is a special player. Yeah,
he is. He really is, and so that is pretty impressive.
59% hard hit rate coming in today in his first 45 major league games. That's an impressive number. I know the home runs aren't there, not enough fly balls, but man, it's going to come. He just hits the ball hard, and he's 21, and sky's the limit on Roman Anthony.
It really is. And they still didn't do much for their pitching. I know. I think them. I also think that the Cubs, I was a little underwhelmed with what they did at the trade deadline, but they did under the wire go get Dustin May. What do you think about Dustin May?
You and I have talked about him a bunch. I love Dustin May almost every year at draft time, and I think the stuff looks so good. He just passes every eye test, but man, just the strikeouts just don't come. It's so frustrating. He's got an 8% swing to strike rate this year and a 21.5% K rate. I think he's still going to be good at some point, but I've come off the fact that I think he's going to be great. He's 27 now. I don't know. I just don't know if the swing mess is ever going to come. And it's just, he's 4.85, 135 this year, pitching for the Dodgers. I don't know. I don't love Dustin May, but I hope maybe a new setting maybe does something for him.
Yep. Shout out to Trevor Story bounce back season. Yes. He really has been, after a tough start, he's been really good.
Yes.
Dustin May, I mean, maybe a different organization fixes him, but you think that the Dodgers are not the type of team that cannot fix him. But
they can just as long as he pitches as well as Walker Buehler coming over from LA, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, that's so funny that Buehler's been pretty terrible too. So
5.74, 160 for Buehler. That is brutal.
Yep. But hey, by the way, while we're talking Red Sox and the Marlins, I think we need to talk a little Yankees here. They're a half a game above the Mariners. They're as the 3rd wild card, which means they're only 2.5 games above the Rangers from being out of the playoffs.
Yep.
3.5 ahead of the Guardians. 4 games ahead of the Royals, who strangely were buyers, and maybe they're not wrong. Who knows? Yankees are vulnerable, Scott. We saw Luis.
They do a lot of stupid stuff too, by the way.
Oh my God, their defense is just hideous.
Their base running. Did you see Jazz Chisholm last night?
No, but I saw Austin Wells earlier in the week.
Jazz Chisholm was on first. Whoever it was popped up to second, and he got doubled off. And I'm talking routine infield pop up to second.
Oh,
he was just like kind of standing watching the play, and it felt like it was kind of like, I don't know if it was a little hot dogging, like I'm just going to stand here and look cool. And they threw him out at second. I think it was Otto Lopez, whoever was playing second. That threw him out. I've never seen anybody get thrown out at second or at first like that on a pop up. Aaron Boone was pissed. He yelled at the first base coach. He probably didn't want to yell at Jazz on camera, but man, he was pissed. It was you don't even see that play in like Little League. It was that bad.
That's the sort of stuff that the Reds were doing last year under David Bell that got him fired. And no manager is completely, utterly safe. Not even Boone. If stuff like this happens, they're closer to missing the playoffs than they are to winning the AL East anymore, which is just wild to me.
Goldschmidt's fallen off. I mean, you can't even use him. He has 2 home runs since June 1st, and he's hitting about 210 since then. He's just completely unusable right now. He should never be in the lineup instead of Ben Rice. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. It drives me nuts whenever he is because Ben Rice can hit.
Yep. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens going forward with this team. I'll tell you what, there's more than a scintilla of a chance that Judge misses the minimum. And there's also a reminder too, that when Judge comes back, he can't be playing the field right away because he can't throw.
Yeah. They said they're hoping he comes back and plays this week against Texas, but that he's not playing the field for definitely 2 weeks after that. So
think about what that's going to do to their defensive alignment, which is already messed up as it is.
I mean, if you want Stanton to hit, and Stanton has 9-10 home runs already, so he's been productive, but he's got to go play right field if he's going to play.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. There's a hamstring right away. It's going to be hamstring at some point, right?
Or you take him out of the lineup and just leave him to be a pinch hitter. I mean, what is that? Yeah, it's a waste.
And not only that, I mean, if you play Goldschmidt, then Ben Rice doesn't play unless he catches randomly. But he's got to play first. He's got to play first, and if he can't DH, it's just you plug up the DH in the Yankees. It's a problem. It's like worse than plugging it on a fantasy lineup. It's a bad spot to be in the plug DH if you're Judge.
Agreed. Yeah. 7 DHs in first baseman. Just put them all at first base. I mean, Jazz, who knows what he is these days anymore? I mean, good for him for being willing to play any position. Yeah. But oh my gosh. And you know what? I thought the Yankees did okay at the trade deadline. I liked the relievers they added, but boy, oh boy, on Friday was ugly.
It sucks when you add everybody. They literally all got lit in that first game.
Yeah, it was
Bednar, Bird, and Doval all got smoked in that game. There was a lot of screenshots of the box score there. But I mean, they've had so many pitching injuries. It's tough. I mean, you lose Garrett Cole, you lose Clark Schmidt. There's just so many guys they've lost, and they cut Stroman this week, and it was that bad. But I mean, they need Fried and Rodon to be as awesome as they were in the first half to have a chance here.
Yep, they do.
Luis Heel did come back today. Did not look good, but a good sign that he came back and pitched.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. You mentioned James Wood earlier. Any worries about him? He was a great first half. It has been a brutal last month or so. He's hitting 183 in July. Most importantly to me, though, on 39% strikeout rate. Leads baseball in strikeout rates since July 1st. 2 homers, 3 stolen bases, 7 RBI in that span. He's 22. I think this is just a blip here. But if you're counting him in fantasy leagues, it's been a rough July.
Yeah, I think this is the dog days are real sort of thing here.
I do too.
I think the organizational weight is dragging him down. And he's dragging himself down. He's having a bad time with this. He's dragging the team down by not producing, and no one else is picking him up either at the same time. Even like Gore's pitching poorly lately. So just a quick aside, Mackenzie Gore was dropped by our friend Phil Dussault in my league.
It has been a brutal last 4 starts.
Last week he drafted him. So he was the subject of a bidding war this week, obviously.
How much is this in main event or online?
Main event. 15 team main event. It's hard to find starting pitching there, right?
Let me guess. I'm going to go. He went for 147.
He went for, and you're probably looking at it, but
no, I'm actually not looking at it. I promise.
All right. He went for 149. You were so close.
That's a pretty darn. I promise I didn't look. I have the free agent page of my screen to see who got dropped in my league. So I don't have that on the screen yet, but
we did not have 149 to spend, so we could not get him, but
it's there's so much upside from what he looked like earlier in the year. It really is. It was really 2 starts last 3. He gave up 8 to the Padres and then 6 this week at Houston. He did pitch well. Well, he pitched well earned run wise against Minnesota, but he walked 6 in that game. I didn't love that either. His last really good start was July 9th against St. Louis. I have Gore in some spots. I'm still using him, but I'll admit that I'm a little worried that we might be hitting
what's the velocity? I don't have Gore anywhere. What's the velocity been the last couple of times? Is it down too?
I actually do not know. For the year, I think it's about the same. It's a little bit down for the year. He was 96 last year. He's 95 right now.
Wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was up to start the season, wasn't it?
Well, then it means a little bit down.
That means it's really down then. Yeah. I'm going to have to go look at the game logs in a little bit and check that, because, go to Savant, you can see that.
Yeah.
Check that out. MLB, baseballsavant.mlb.com. Check that out for yourself. You can look at game logs if you're interested in there.
If you don't use that site, you're going to love it, because there are you can spend 9 million hours there and still not find everything you want. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's interesting. I would have bid pretty high on him too. I mean, you're right. It's hard to find starting pitching, and that's one with legit, like, actual real upside if he gets going again. I mean, he was really good early on.
Yep.
Yeah. What about where are we at with Tanner Bibee, Jeff? This is someone that was really good his rookie year, pretty good last year, and it's kind of just an absolute mess this year. He's at 4.51, 1.26. So not that horrible on the year, but really bad lately. 5.8 ERA and 8 starts since June 15th. Strikeout rate's down to 21%. It was 26% last year. It's down 5% year over year. It's kind of getting worse every year, too. He's 2.98 as a rookie, 3.47 last year, 4.51 this year. You look at his xERA and xFIP, it's a little bit better than his ERA, so maybe some unluckiness in there. His BABIP's about normal. The strand rate's a little bit low. Still getting a lot of ground balls, but I don't know, he just doesn't have that punch-out pitch that I think we expected to get from him. And for all the hype he's had, it's been a really disappointing 2025.
The thing is, prior to his start against the Twins over the weekend, he had a 3-game winning streak. But prior to that, he had a 10-game non-winning streak. He went 10 starts without a win. So he's been more disappointing than good all season long. And it is really the swing and miss in particular is actually better now than it was early in the season. That's the funny thing, Scott. You talked about the K percentage being down. It was down around like 17, 18 for the first 2 months of the season. The swing and miss was below 10% at one point in time. It's 10.5 now, which is still a full 2 percentage points below where it was last year. Velocity is actually creeping back to pretty close to where it was last year. So I actually think he's kind of on the upswing, generally speaking. Just had a bad start against the remaining husk of the Twins, but which is, you worry about it when you pitch poorly against a bad opponent, but I think he's probably better than he was earlier in the year, but I was really negative on him earlier this year.
Yeah, and the results just haven't been there. I mean, you look at his first 9 starts, he had 5 of those were either 0 or 1 earned run. He does not have one start like that since May 22nd, last time. He's been at least 2 earned runs every single start since then. A number of those with 4 and 5. He hasn't had like the 7-8 run blow up, but it seems like every start is 4, 4, 5, a couple 3s and 2s in there. But even if you look at the last 5 starts, you're right. He hasn't been better than swing and miss, but only one of those starts that were 5 strikeouts. He's not helping you anywhere right now.
Nope.
What do you think about Xavier Edwards right now? This is someone that if it's like you need steals, this is where you get him. Xavier Edwards, he's kind of killing teams. He only has 17 steals, which is not the worst number in the world, but not what you're paying for, considering the 1 home run and 28 RBI you're getting from the year. So he's dead at zeros in those categories. The batting average hasn't pretty good, so he's helping there. But 17 stolen bases does not make up for the fact that you're getting 0 power from this guy.
No, you're not. So he's on my do not draft list for next year, but I think I'm just stuck with him now and where I have him, just got to ride it out. But with his profile, we need him to be at like 35 stolen bases right now. Worth the equation.
And he had 31 last year in 70 games.
Yeah, he's only got 51 runs also. And granted, he missed some time. Edwards missed a little bit of time earlier this year. Did have, I think, an IL trip even. That's going to drag down the runs scored a little bit. And for a while, I think Edwards was also, dropped in the batting order. He's back at leadoff now, and that's good for us. He walks a decent amount, 360 OBP. So real life, he's not hurting the Marlins as much. I was
surprised he hasn't run with 360 OBP. I would have thought he's running more. When I first looked, I'm like, I'm sure his OBP is really low. He's not getting on base, but he actually is. The 0.6 barrel rate's pretty impressive, though. You're not getting home runs from this dude.
No, he's somehow gotten. Well, he is the slapdick prospect, as Blake Snell mentioned earlier. Only 1 stolen base in the last 21 days, too. So even though he's hitting,
it's hard to play him at that.
Yeah, it's really hard to play him. Maybe I should be more aggressive with benching him in some leagues, but
it's hard to do, right? Because the second you do is gonna have a 4 stolen base game, you just feel terrible about yourself.
Yeah, maybe different manager had something to do with it.
Yeah, it could be.
The Marlins actually being competitive has something to do with it. How many times do we talk about bad teams letting their fast but mediocre players just run wild?
Yep.
when the games start to matter a little bit more, maybe rein him in. He also has been caught. Edwards has been caught 7 times this year. He was only caught 4 times all of last year when he stole 31 bases. So teams are getting better about, some teams at least are getting better about stopping the running game. We're seeing a lot of that, the back tags, if you will, throwing to the first base side of the bag a little bit more. It seems like that is working.
You see so many more of those. You never used to see that play. It was always like kind of automatic safe at that point. I wonder if replay impacts that a little bit too. You get a lot of those that you get kind of the back tag and you get guys out that way.
Yeah. I got to check my assumptions though. Is the stolen base? I mean, is the stolen base, are stolen base rates down generally? I mean, like not rates, but like the success rate. Are they down?
That I do not know.
Why not? What? Why not? Come on, let's go. No, seriously. I'm just checking this out here. So looking at the caught stealing rate is higher. So stolen base rate on average, game by game, in 2025, it's 0.72 stolen bases per team per game. It was 0.74 last year. It's 0.21 caught stealings per game, up from 0.20 last year and up from 0.18 2 years ago. So teams are adapting to the new rules.
Yep. Yeah, you only got 2 guys over 30 bags right now, but there are a lot of guys in the 20s. But Edwards at 17. It's just really hard to play that. He's the only guy over 17 that has less than 4 homers. Nico Horner has 4. I mean, even Victor Scott's got 5 homers. He has 12 more steals than Edwards. I mean, Victor Scott has hit 227, so Edwards is a lot better there. But it's just that's not who you want to be comparing him to right now.
Yep. He goes 15 rounds later next year.
It's probably somewhere in there.
Probably gets drafted still, but
he'll get drafted because someone's going to need steals in that end range at some point. But it's certainly going to be a big drop. But
maybe we'll see a report after the season. Well, I was playing through a tight hammy for 3 months, and then we'll be back on board, and then he'll DeShields us.
Yeah. So let's jump into next week here a little bit. But first note from the NFFC. The NFFC RotoWire Fantasy Football Online Championship is now live. Play fantasy football against your favorite RotoWire experts on NFFC this football season. Jeff Erickson, Nick Whalen, and more will compete in the RotoWire NFFC Online Championship for a shot at $250,000. Sign up for a draft today at rotowire.com/high stakes. That's rotowire.com/high stakes. Jeff, we got a couple of teams with 8 games this week. We got the Braves and the Marlins have 8. Obviously, they play each other on the weekend. They have a doubleheader in there. So they're both the Braves are 3 home against Milwaukee, 3 home against Miami. Miami's 3 home against Houston, then 5 at Atlanta. We only have 2 teams with 7 games. Our Reds, 3 at Chicago, 3 at Pittsburgh. Not great outside of the Great American Small Park, but pretty good setup there. Anytime you can go face Pittsburgh for 4, aside from Skeens, it's a good setup. Yeah. And the Pirates as well. Obviously, they play the Reds over the weekend, so they have 7 as well. They have 7 at home, 3 against the Giants, 4 at Cincy. But it's tough. I mean, the Reds are away all week. The Rockies have a half and half week. The A's are away all week. None of the big teams that we want the good home parks are home this week. So it's not a great week to find a ton of matchups.
Right. I remember, and this the Marlins and the Braves. Remember that was like week 2 of the season when they got rained out, and we're the Braves when they were 0-8 were like, well, at least they get the Marlins at home, and turns out, it's not as the boon that it's supposed to be now. All of a sudden, I mean, it helps when you don't have your entire starting rotation and no Acuna, no Riley, no a bunch of other players. So the remainder of the Braves lineup. I mean, it's. Ozuna doesn't even start half the time.
Yep. Yeah. I think at some point we talked about it. It's very similar, but it's pretty much Matt Olson and Albies are like the only guys that were like opening day that play every day. So I guess
Michael Harris too.
Oh, I guess we have to count him.
Yeah, we do. Harris is actually hitting better lately than Albies, I think.
Yeah, he had a really good week. It was last week, the week before. Yeah. Was it this week? Yes, it's coming around a little bit. But I mean, if I showed you the Braves probables from this week at the start of the season, you'd be like, "What the hell happened there?" I mean, it's just, I mean, you're starting Eric Fetty and Carlos Carrasco. Like, what are we doing? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Jays do have a good schedule. If they're going to hold off the Red Sox here, they're 3 at Colorado. Although Colorado's a little bit over 500 since the break. They're playing a little bit better. And then 3 at the Dodgers. So Jays Dodgers fun series next weekend.
Yeah. It will be fun. Will be a lot of fun. You're right. Dodgers.
That reminds me, we're supposed to go. I got Dodgers Reds tickets for us for whenever the Reds are here. So don't make plans.
Okay, I hope I'm in town.
Don't. Yeah, the Reds are in town. Of course, you're in town.
Yeah. Well,
don't you plan your vacation schedule around the Red schedule?
I not a good fan. No.
It's in like late August.
There's nothing happening late August in my life, so
I hope I'm in town.
Yeah, right. I'm going to be in Vegas like twice. So, and then I'm going to Wichita this week. So you want to talk about that, often confused for each other. The Vegas of the Midwest Plains.
Probably nice and balmy in Wichita right now.
It's going to be 98 when I get in there. 98 and just a smidge of humidity.
I would say no humidity. It's a dry heat in Wichita, right?
Yeah. Blast furnace there. Yeah.
But let's talk some news and notes. I do want to get into FAAB. I guess the biggest news today was Jakob Marsee, 15-day IL with a bruised tibia. Does not sound, that sounds quite painful. Hoping to miss the minimum, although there's a lot of players in the last couple weeks that have been saying that. But interesting enough, they called up Logan Henderson to start for him. So we might get some Logan Henderson here for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll probably just have him open. I'm sorry. I'm so salty. Yeah. I think it's the Brewers. I mean, if someone has a hangnail like Mizorowski, I'm gonna butcher that name. I'm just gonna say Miz.
We go Miz. It's easy.
If he just has a hangnail, they can afford to shut him down for a little bit. They are in pretty good shape. I mean, they still have to fight for the division. They'll have another series against the Cubs, but I mean, they're just rolling. I mean, it helps that anytime they face a bad team, all of a sudden they're the 27 Yankees like they were this weekend. Yeah, they're only they're only 2 games up on the Cubs, but still, I mean,
but Jackson Trio gets hurt and Blake Perkins just comes in and hits 3 bombs over the way. It's wild. They next man up. It's crazy.
And our work forum on Slack for our close, we have a closers grid thing that we just share comments like, well, Miguel Cairo said, you'll have to wait and see who our closer is on Friday. Narrator, they did not wait to see they did not see who their closer was at any point this weekend. It was not remotely close.
They scored 38 runs on the Nats this weekend. I mean, it was wild. Yeah. So that's the Miz. I mean, I've read they're pretty optimistic, so I'm still holding him. And part of this is they probably wanted him to sit for a couple weeks anyway, so it's probably not the worst thing in the world in terms of managing some innings there. Tommy Edman, Dodgers, another Dodger injured, likely headed to the IL for a sprained right ankle. I just dropped Edman. He hasn't been really good in a while. I think he's just a drop right now.
The hidden story is, not just Edman being not so great, but Mookie not so great. Freddie's had some pretty extended slumps here and there. They're going to get Muncy back this week at least. They need that. They need to lengthen that lineup. The bottom third of their lineup's been awful all season. Maybe not all season, but certainly recently it's been pretty awful.
They had a while. Pajas the bottom half that went away. Oscar's been pretty bad. Freeman's been good last month. He's held back, but you're the bottom lineup. You gotta get going at that point. Yep. Speaking of Dodgers, Vargas 10-day IL with a left oblique sprain. Another guy that if you had held on to him, I think he has cooled off anyway. He had a few home runs a couple weeks ago to kind of warm back up, but I think he's a pretty easy drop as well. Definite drop in Colorado. Seth Halvorsen, who had been closing games for them, 15-day IL, shut down the right elbow strain. It did not sound good, Jeff. I don't think we see him again this year.
No, why would you?
Why would you?
Yeah.
Did you go with your favorite name, Victor Vodnik, picking up some saves for the Rockies?
Do you know me, Scott?
I do. You'd never Rockies closer, right?
Yeah. Yes. I did not even think about putting a bid in on Victor Vodnik, even with the wonderful name.
I just wanted you to be able to say his name, though. Yes. Paul Sporer mentioned that I dropped Tommy Edman 3 weeks ago. That was probably the right call. That was the way to go there. Evan Carter, who just cannot catch a break, back on the 10-day IL with back spasms. I dropped him as well. I had him a couple of leagues. I think it's worth cutting, not worth holding on there. You mentioned Austin Riley before. We were talking to him before we started the podcast too. I think left early Sunday with left abdominal pain. Does not sound good here as well. So that's not good. Not what you want from Riley. And like we mentioned, the Braves don't really have any reason to rush anybody back.
Yep. They don't. They really don't. And and that's just the problem. They did rush him back last time. After he had the minimum stay. This time, I expect They haven't committed to putting him on the IL yet, but I suspect that it could be multiple weeks this time. We'll see. Don't go run and drop him based on this basis, but just prepare. Pick up somebody that you can shuttle in at least while he's gone.
Yeah, I fully agree there. You mentioned Max Muncy could return on Monday. Some good news for the Dodgers there. Hopefully he can pick up right where he left off, because he was on fire when he got hurt.
Absolutely
running at third base there when he got hit in the knee. Chandler Simpson, if you're needing steals there, missed the weekend with a sprained left index finger, which is bad because you just want him for his legs anyway. But he's missed the weekend. So Jeffy checked some lineups there. Interesting moment with the Rangers bullpen. They traded for Phil Maton. Robert Garcia left early Saturday with back spasms. They've kind of downplayed it, but this is one that he didn't look great. I think he blew the save in that game, or maybe he did the night before. Yep. But either way, there's a chance here that if it goes a little sideways, Maton may end up. He was closer for the Cardinals for about 2 hours on the trade deadline. He could fall in some saves in Texas.
Yeah, he could. He's always been more the setup guy. That's been his role in his career. Kind of like Chris Martin before him on the Rangers, yep. And Martin being out for a long time. Kind of like Sean Armstrong, also in that bullpen. I
went to high school with a guy named Sean Armstrong.
Did you?
Not the same guy.
Not the same guy. It'd be weird for him to be active in the majors if he did.
Stop calling me old, Jeff. That's
dude. Terrible. I'm older than you, so hey.
Know, but still.
Yeah. Danny Colombe. I had no idea he was 35. I thought he was like 27 when he got traded. And I thought, oh, he's just having a nice little breakout year. No, he's 35. He's been around since 2014. No idea. I know he's a former A, so you probably knew that already.
I think it's Coulomb.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. That's nice.
At least that's how the A's announcers pronounce it. They could be very wrong, though. It would not be. Yeah. It would not be surprising for Dallas Braden to say something that was wrong. But
Uncle Ted says Luis Curvelo is the closer. He said it about 7 times today in the chat, so I thought I'd give it a highlight here. I don't know. I don't think Bochy is the type to give the job to a rookie like that, making his debut year.
I mean, he's thrown 3.1 innings, so he's definitely not the closer yet.
40 Ks and 38 2/3 at AAA, 78 and 66 the year before. He's good. It looks like he's got at least good numbers. I'm just number scouting.
Definitely a lot of punch outs, but he threw late in the game yesterday against Seattle, but he came in, but that was because it was the 11th inning, so they'd used Garcia, they'd used Maton, they used Coulomb, they used Armstrong. So he's kind of last guy. Definitely, but maybe. I mean, he's got a good punch out arm, but I think we're a long ways from him closing games. And
he wasn't closing in the minors really. 2 saves this year, 3 the year before that. He's never really been considered the guy. So I think it would be a stretch for him to do it right away. But stranger things have happened. I mean, we saw the emergence of K-Rod, where he barely pitched in the majors. All of a sudden, he was the most dominant weapon in the playoffs. So it can happen. 96 miles an hour fastball, average fastball velocity so far in his first couple outings.
Shane Bieber made his what we think is his final rehab outing on Sunday. Now he's pitching for the Toronto franchise, so could make his first start in Toronto. I guess it would be over the weekend. It would face at LA, so that'd be a tough first start. So I don't know. Maybe they push that one a little bit, but he might start next weekend against the Dodgers. Who's been kind of sneakily good lately is in Toronto is Max Scherzer. Yeah,
he has. What has he ever done in this game?
Yeah, right. It seems like he's finally maybe past that the thumb issue where he couldn't get past, 50, 60 pitches. But he's 1 earned run and 5 strikeouts last start. He had 11 strikeouts against Detroit. He's got a pretty good run going. He had 1 4 earned running against the Yankees. But other than that, it's been pretty solid recently.
Yeah, he has. Pitched real good. Against a Royals team that has been
quietly hot on offense.
Quietly sneaky good, like 34 homers in the last 30 days after being in a massive drought. And they're doing it without Jack Caglione also, which I thought was interesting. In the Royals, they were buyers at the trade deadline. I've spent, I've put it on outlines and spent 0 time talking about the fact that the Royals went out and traded 4 players at the deadline.
They added Yastrzemski, they added Grichuk.
They also added a pitcher as well.
Bailey Falter.
I mean, they're shopping at the bargain store. Bergert also in the rotation.
Oh, that's right. They got Bergert too. Yeah, they did add some pieces. So that's,
they signed Lugo to the extension.
Yeah.
So they're definitely thinking. And you know what? You look at that. I'm telling you that AL wildcard bubble is so Charmin soft right now.
Is Cole Reagans coming back?
Someday. I don't know.
Someday. I like it.
I probably not because I traded for him in one league, but
yeah, nothing. I mean, they transferred him to 60-day IL, so it's going to be a while. Anyway,
that was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
It was. Put him on the 60 IL 4 weeks ago. Yeah, so it's a while. But I mean, he got a positive second opinion last I saw. But yeah, it's just that one's not looking great. But
not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon is a good way to say that. Jeff, last question for you: is Hunter Green pitching this week? Do we start Hunter Green this week?
I'm at the point now where I'm never starting pitchers in their first start pack. I feel like I think he could pitch Saturday, and that would be at the Pirates. So you want to? Oh man,
you got to start it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm curious to see if the rain, this shenanigans with the rain game and Bristol and all that is going to
mess so bad, man. They sell like 95,000 tickets and it gets a rain out. That sucked.
But I heard I was reading Trent Rosecrans' article in The Athletic about it. They ran out of food like before the game ever started.
How does that happen?
And they ran out of merch. I mean, so it wasn't just a rain delay thing. It was also
you know how many tickets you
planning.
Sold. You know how many tickets you sold though. Like, how does that happen?
They've had more people there for races.
For sure. Like, it's not like a place that doesn't not like you just went to Field of Dreams and did something like not used to it. Like, they have huge races there.
And apparently MLB rented the track, so it wasn't like the Bristol's own vendor. So maybe that's it. Baseball can't figure out. Baseball hasn't had it in a game with 85,000 people there, so they don't know how to react. I don't know. It's just awful.
I went to an Arizona State SC game in Tempe in September. They ran out of water in the middle of the second quarter, so it happens.
Oh, it must have been brutal.
It was about 108, and the metal bench seats, it felt like it was 128. It was SC was down 28-3 at halftime, and I think won like 56-28, something like that. It was amazing. Lendale White and Reggie Bush went nuts in the second half.
I think I kind of remember that a little bit.
Reggie did a flip into the end zone in the fourth quarter and got a penalty. It was beautiful.
That team was just so ridiculously fun to watch.
I don't think I'll have more fun watching anybody in college ever than Reggie Bush play football.
Yeah.
He was unbelievably fun.
Yep.
Pitcher's first starts, though. But Blake Snell was good this week. We talked about him last week as someone that you probably should throw for the first start back. He was 5 innings, 8 strikeouts. He did pitch well. Good for the Dodgers to have him back.
Yep, for sure.
Let's talk a little bit of FAAB here. We kind of hit on many of these, but we talked about relievers. Randy Rodriguez is probably the top name here. Bob Melvin pretty much said he's the closer. We didn't get a lot of those guys that, like you mentioned before, that were actually named the closer. He was 75% rostered in the main event, 20% only in the online championship, the 12-teamer. How do you feel
by online? He was owned, of course.
Rodriguez has been really, really good. I think he's like a 30% K- walk. He was in the All-Star game for a reason. He's been really good. He's 30.1% K- walk, 14.5% swing strike rate, 117.85, converted his first save back. I felt like if he was available in the league, he was the guy to go after this week.
Oh, slam dunk, easy. Yeah. So we did. I don't know if people caught the trade deadline podcast that we did on Thursday. The immediate reaction. We did a new closer draft. Went through the 5 of us: Eric Halterman, James Anderson, Todd Zola, Ryan Boyer, and myself, and we did it, and we kind of got through about 9 teams, because there was a lot of change.
There were.
And after about 3, it got pretty shaky even for us. And before some of our assumptions were proven wrong, knowing that like a couple of the closers dealt we weren't going to be able to use in the new places because they're rostered already. So yeah, it was, and it's been pretty bad on some other situations here already too, where we thought one guy was going to be it and it was fake news. It was someone else. So it's been fun, but yeah, Rodriguez, slam dunk. The only problem is he is rostered in a lot of places. Yeah.
And the only real concern was like maybe the Giants leave him in the fireman role kind of thing. But when Melvin's quote came out, I think he was the main guy. I have 2 main event teams. One's pretty good. One is horrendously awful. I added Rodriguez in the one that's horrendously awful. So it's not going to really help me very much, but I did. He was available in my main event. Got him for 83 with a backup bid of 77. So maybe it's time for some redemption here in the last couple of months.
Maybe.
Yeah. Got you Darvish in that league too. He was dropped before the good start. So maybe he can find it too. But
I just benched him because I'm just bad.
He'd been pretty bad. So the other guy that seemed to be really good and falling in a good spot, we mentioned him earlier getting smoked in Coors Field, but Dennis Santana, he was a little bit more owned. He was 88% in the main event, but only 29% in the 12-team online championship. Obviously, that one outing was in Coors. Other than that, he's been really good. 2.31, 0.92. Not a huge strikeout guy, 21.5%. He does get a lot of swing and miss, but not a huge K rate guy. But seems like he is pretty locked into that role in Pittsburgh. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of wins there, but he seems like he's the guy.
I think so. Just keep an eye out on one other pitcher, Isaac Mattson, who's pitched pretty well this year. I think if something happens to Santana, if they decide Santana might be better for an 8th inning role, Mattson's had some key moments. Got the win against the Giants on Wednesday, I think it was their getaway game where he pitched 2 innings, including the extra inning, and got basically finished that game off where Santana got the save the day before. Mattson is a solid number 2 in that bullpen right now.
Yeah, he's been really good this year. 22% came on his walk with a whip under 1. So that's a good call. If Santana has any more hiccups, Mattson could be got. He was in the Orioles, right?
Mattson?
I think he debuted with the Orioles.
That's right. I think he was in the Twins organization for a while as well. I see a Wichita in his line there, and that's their AA affiliate. So may have bounced around a couple different places there.
Just makes me happy because it reminds me of Mark Madsen, which was so fun to have on your college basketball team.
Yeah,
Jose Ferrer in Washington. We mentioned we haven't really talked about Cal Finnegan, but Cal Finnegan got traded to the Detroit Tigers. Actually converted a save for them. There was some clamor. Who's he going to close? Is Will Vest going to close? Hinch pretty much said Finnegan wasn't going to close, and then put him out there for the save in the first game out. It was quite the quote. Ferrer kind of falls into this job, but has not been very good. 4.78 ERA, 1.22 WHIP on a bad team. Strikeout rate's pretty low, 20%. 5% walk rate's pretty good. But this felt to me like if I really, really need saves, I can play this guy. But I didn't really feel great about it.
Yeah, I didn't feel great about getting him in Scarf, but I didn't spend nearly enough on Dennis Santana. He went 175 in our league. Oh, wow. I prefer JoJo Romero over Ferrer because I think the Cardinals are better than the Nats, but I also wasn't nearly close enough to bidding on Romero, winning Romero and that one there. I did bid on him, but it was like each of them I bid 13 on, and I think I put Romero ahead of Ferrer, but I won 13-12, so winning for me.
And they kind of made some quotes to St. Louis, like Romero is the main guy, although with they're going to play matchups, but if like the matchups worked out right, he was going to close games. I was surprised they made that strong of a statement. I kind of thought it would be a little more mix and match, although it will be, because he's the lefty and he's going to, if they play the Dodgers this week, I think if Ohtani comes up, obviously going to pitch in the 8th inning if Ohtani's up. But I think that it seems like Romero might fall into the majority of saves. I was a little surprised by how strongly worded that was.
Yeah. Me too.
And he's been good, but there's nobody else there. I mean, they traded Maton, they traded Helsley, got Kyle Leahy, RileyO'Brien, but it seems like Romero's kind of the guy there. In Cleveland, wild situation. There was one of the Guardians beat writers this week, like had a quote that he doesn't think Emmanuel Claus is ever going to pitch in the majors again. Like this is like a really serious problem. I mean, we're talking about there was someone, whoever I forget the name last year, that the guy that was on the injured list and bet, and this is potentially Claus betting on games that he pitched in and betting on pitches, whatever it may be. We don't obviously know all the details, but that job's open up. I mean, he's suspended for the next month, and who knows how long it'll go. But Cade Smith was 61% rostered in the 12-teamer. It's pretty much universally rostered in the main event. Hunter Gaddis is also there, who's pretty good. Do you have a preference in Cleveland if both guys were available?
No, Smith for sure.
Yeah,
he's been better. I think he's the guy that's had the 8th inning more often than not. He's pretty clear next in line, unless the Guardians again are one of those teams to say we just like him there. That's your only risk, really.
And Gaddis got the save today, but he got the save today because Smith pitched 2 innings yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that sort of thing can happen where, oh well, this worked out pretty well, we'll just go with this again. It's and I don't think he got the save today. I think Minnesota won today, but
he got the save yesterday because Smith pitched 2 innings on Friday, whatever it was.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because there was the extra inning game on Friday. That's right. And by the way, Clase's locker has been cleaned out.
Wild.
Yeah, did you cut him yet? If you had him?
I did not have him. I went into my league. Wild enough, my main event league, 11 guys got cut. They were 100% rostered going into this week. Because if you look right away, you can see like what the percentage owned was before they update it. 11 guys got cut. Clase was one of them. I would have cut him across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, best case, and it's not going to happen. He pitched in September, and even then, like I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty done there. Although, Cleveland said they're respecting baseball by not saying anything more about the case. But yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty bad there. What about Minnesota? They traded Yohan Duran to Philadelphia, and then right at the deadline, I really thought when he had Griffin Jacks closing in Minnesota, he got traded to the Rays, whatever it was, like 257. I was like, they held out the whole way and got that final dagger in. Do you have anybody in Minnesota you like? I think maybe Cole Sands might be the best option, but I was having trouble finding someone to get excited about in this bullpen right now.
Well, then they went presto changeo on us and went with someone else today in the 9th inning.
Was that really the same Erasmo Ramirez?
It was the very same, and I couldn't bring myself to bid on him. But
how is he in baseball? He's like 35.
I don't know. The
eraser. I remember when he was good.
And remember, it was the Gulf of Tonkin that started the inning too.
You love the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah, who wouldn't? I mean, hey, historical references for the win. Erasmo came in, got 2 guys out though after Tonkin failed, gave up 2 runs. Erasmo comes in, gets the last 2 guys. 9 pitches, 4 strikes. So yeah. Have fun with that.
I saw that box score and I was like, I wonder who Eve Ramirez is. It's clearly not Erasmo. And then I clicked on it and it's his face. Like it's the same Erasmo from like way back in the Rays days where he was actually a pretty good starter, like in 2015.
I remember when he was a sneaky ad. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Topa pitched the 7th. Sands pitched the 8th. After there was a note saying that Sands was probably going to be the closer. So that was the nice kick in the butt there too, to go along with that.
Did he throw I have to look, but did he throw like the high leverage spot in there?
I'm checking that out there. But
I'm looking who he faced.
But it is Rocco Baldelli we're talking
about. He faced J-Ram, Manzardo, Naylor, and Arias.
Okay, so that's fine.
Not that Naylor and Arias are middle lineup, but he got J-Ram and Manzardo.
But we had a note from Friday. Twins manager Rocco Baldelli told Sands and Justin Topa to be prepared for late inning high leverage roles. That doesn't mean you are the closer.
No, it doesn't.
And so that's shame on me for even relying on that, even the slightest iota, especially for Rocco Baldelli, who's managed Duran the very same way.
What about Baltimore? Anything you like there? Obviously, Felix Bautista's hurt. They traded who did they trade? They traded somebody, but then Keegan Aiken, Corbin Martin, Yenier Cano. Anybody you like in this mess of a bullpen?
I threw a shekel at Aiken. It was like my last resort if I didn't get guys, and I did get Aiken in like 2 leagues. I think for like $1 after missing out on getting outbid on some other people.
He was really, really good last year.
Yeah, and he got the save Saturday, and then gave up the homer today to Justin Turner. Maybe back-to-back days wasn't good for him.
But I mean, he was 31% strikeout rate, 6% walk rate last year. The problem is the walks this year have been a mess. A 12% walk rate. If he can cut those, he might have some chances there. But another bullpen where I was like, nah, I just didn't. I kind of like Corbin Martin. I saw he pitched the 6th yesterday, or wherever it was. It was hard to get behind anybody there. What about in Sacramento? Anybody you like? Now that we talked about Mason Miller a bunch earlier, opens up the spot for the A's. There was some thought they'd use Jack Perkins there. He pitched the end of a game, the game right before they traded Miller, when Miller should have come in, and you realize he wasn't in. You're like, he's getting traded for sure. Anybody you like here? We've got Sean Newcomb, the former Braves starter. We've got Michael Kelly. I don't know where he's from, but anybody you like here?
So Michael Kelly is the gambling guy.
Oh, is he the gambling guy? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he was suspended all last year. Yeah, league's gambling policy. Yeah, he was.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, life is
there's some casinos in Sacramento. He's gonna love it there.
Yeah. Perkins is a starter now.
Yeah, he started today.
They're going to stretch him out. I actually like Perkins. I think he's really good.
He did not look good, maybe. He looked a little amped up to me. I watched the first thing. He only pitched 3, but I watched that start. He just got wild, and I think it was the 2nd he started walking guys. But I mean, the stuff's there. He could be really good. I actually think Newcomb's kind of interesting. He's been really good since he started some games in April. Since they moved him to the pen, he's been really good. You look at some of his numbers since then. 3.1 ERA in June, 2.1 in July. August obviously just started, but I think Newcomb's the best pitcher there, but I don't know if they're going to throw a 32-year-old lefty in the closer role. Really, I think it'll be mix and matches. I think it'll be Newcomb and Kelly, but the A's are playing well right now too. I think they won 7 of 8 when they lost the last 2 to Arizona, but they have enough offense where they're going to win some games. Their pitching's really bad, but they're going to win some games. Someone's going to get some saves. I took a couple shots on Newcomb, but I mean, it's hard to suggest anybody really strongly here.
Yeah, Newcomb got the ninth inning on Friday when they won 5-1. That's the closest we have to guessing the save situation.
I watched that when he looked good, and I think I was sold based on that, which is always good to go with a one outing eye test. But
many people are saying that that's the best way to go about doing it.
Yeah, that's how scouts work, right?
Yes, I like how Newcomb began the year with Boston as kind of like, oh, remember him? You know, and then that's name a guy, and he, all of a sudden now we're talking about him as a possible closer.
Yeah, it's in the dregs in Sacramento there. But what about starters? Did you like anybody? We just mentioned Jack Perkins. I think we both think that there's some interesting upside there. Obviously, I think getting him deep into games might be tough. There's just stretching him out. But I had some Bennington on him. Who else did you like in starting pitching? It was another week that was tough to find starters.
If you're lucky to find Logan Henderson available,
Sure.
That's where you have to start.
We joked a little bit about Carson Whisenhunt last week with the Ken Whisenhunt reference, but as someone mentioned, he's a legit prospect. He pitched well today. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He's pitching a good park in San Francisco. Some strikeouts in the minors last year. This year he did not have a lot of them, but did lower the walk rate. He's had some walk issues in the past. Seems like he's going to be pretty up and down, but there's a little bit of stuff here. He might be interesting, at least maybe for home starts. You could stream Whisenhunt.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of strikeouts, but then again, you see it, like you said, good park.
Yep.
A team that's circling down the drain, but
they are kind of a mess. But he's home against Washington this week, so a good matchup on paper at least. I think that's he's a guy you could probably throw for matchups. I think.
Yep.
Anybody else you liked in starters? We got Cade Povich coming off the IL. The guy that I liked the most probably was Mike Burrows in Pittsburgh. He pitched really well this week. He was fairly high roster in the main event, but very available in 12 teamers. If you need strikeouts, not wins because he pitches for Pittsburgh. You need strikeouts though. He has 2 starts this week: San Francisco and the Reds, both at home. I think Burrows is mildly interesting. He's been pretty good: 3.88, 1.26. Strikeouts were really good in AAA, then pretty good in the majors. I watched him start this week. I can't remember who was against, but he pitched really well, looked good. It was against the Giants, so 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. Before that, Arizona, 6 innings, no runs, 5 Ks. Then the White Sox, 5 innings, 2 runs. He's been really good his last 3 starts.
I picked him up in XFL a month ago where we do monthly pickups because he's had a quasi decent pitch prospect profile. Always been some strikeouts there. He's going through rookie growing pains right now, but he's had some good starts lately. So yeah. And that, it's a home start against Cincy. So sure. I think you could squint and see it. Same thing goes for Aaron Savali. It's a different type of pitcher.
Does he have 3 straight shutouts? Is that right?
He's been pitching really well. So, I don't think he's had a skill change necessarily, just like I don't think Adrian Hauser had a skill change, before they traded him to the Rays, but you never know, that you can use a guy for a while he's hot, at least.
What about in Atlanta with Joey Wentz? He pitched really well last outing against the Royals. You mentioned the Royals have been hot. He was went 6 2/3, only gave 1 hit, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's lined up for 2 starts this week. It looks like where are we at? He looks like home Milwaukee, a little scary there. Home Miami, obviously they've been better lately, but that's one that I think you could if you need some strikeouts. It's a risky 2-step, and I think you could throw that one.
I think it has to be one where you're like, hey, I just need the strikeouts. I'm really desperate here. If you have ratios to protect, I wouldn't bother.
And we're getting towards the part of the year where you're playing standings, you're playing, what you need. Yep. I had him on some lists for any strikeouts, but it was down the list a little ways.
Yeah.
Real quick before we jump out, I do want to talk offense a little bit. I know we've kind of got long talking about a lot of stuff, but hitters, there were a couple of names out there. I think the top one across the board for people was Jakob Marsee in Miami. With the trade of Jesus Sanchez, Marsee slotted into center field. I think he had 4 RBI his first game, so kind of fired everybody up there. But he's a stolen base guy. He had 51 stolen bases in 2024. He had 32 in 51 in 2024, 46 in 2023. He was in the Padres organization, then moved to Miami. It felt like if you were in a league where you needed steals, Marsee was the guy to grab right now because he's the guy. He's some steals upside.
Yeah, and I feel like the Marlins were just kind of holding him back until they were, opened the space up by trading Jesus Sanchez.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, I was too. I grabbed him in a couple leagues. I was outbid in a couple other spots. He was probably the most popular guy in offense this week as I'm looking at bids. It was like closer. Jakob Marsee, closer. It was kind of the way it kind of went. What do you do with this dude in Colorado, Warming Bernabel? It's a great name. He's been really good lately, and there are 9 million puns for you to make here. Please don't make any of them. Don't take the opportunity. But he's been really good lately. He's been really good lately. He plays in Coors Field. Are you any interest in Warming?
Man, you're killing me by trying to preempt me like that.
I know. No, I had to.
I did not add him globally, but I'm interested. But I think I would just be as a streamer for home and away.
Yeah, I think so too. I looked at his minor league starts and nothing really jumped out to me as like, oh, this guy's really interesting. But he plays in Coors Field and he's hot, so you got to go with it.
Yeah.
What about we mentioned a lot of closers that kind of got some benefit from the trade deadline. Tyler Locklear in Arizona falls into a starting position here with some of their trades. He started all 3 games he's been up. This is someone that was an interesting power speed guy. 19 home runs, 18 stolen bases in AAA this year with the Mariners before he was traded to Arizona. Hit .316 those starts too. K rate was only 22%. You look at his minor league stuff, looks pretty good. I know that the Pacific League can tend to promote some offense, but he's shown some pop in the minors, and it seems like he's got a pretty good runway to playing time right now.
He does, at least until Pavin Smith comes back. Then I'm kind of curious to see what happens after that. But I mean, then again, not really. It's not even really a problem because there's still the DH spot is still available.
Yeah, because if Del Castillo catches, the DH spot opens up. I mean, they got a lot of. They got Blaze Alexander starting. They had someone named Connor Kaiser starting today against the A's. I had to look up who that was when he played. But it seems like if they want to give Locklear a run of playing time, the opportunity is there. And I think and he's a righty. So he kind of, I don't know, maybe you could platoon him with Pavin Smith a little bit, but I think he gets a pretty good runway here.
Yeah, for like the last season and a half, we feared the Diamondbacks offense, and all of a sudden now we're kind of like, ooh, this is kind of rough. They've had some pretty bad offensive outings lately. You get to Sacramento, and it's obviously a little bit different there, but still, opportunity is there for it. I do my XFL league, which is the league we do in First Pitch Arizona in November, and then do a March supplemental draft. We do monthly supplemental drafts instead of weekly FAAB. And he went early tonight in the first round of our monthly supplemental. So on the hope that I think maybe he could become a keeper someday too, because you get him cheaply now and gets the run of playing time, and hopefully becomes like a Goldschmidt type someday. Yeah,
and he's only 24, so he's like actually a prospect, not old yet. But I think it's interesting. I think that he gets some speed, power there. I think the playing time is going to be there. Someone in the chat missing Colson Montgomery, only 10% owned in ESPN leagues. That's crazy. Colson Montgomery's been on fire. He's been really good. We were so worried about the strikeout rate. Strikeout rate's actually gone down in the majors, which we never see. Had another home run today. I think he's someone that you're careful, because I think the downward spiral is going to come when he strikes out more. But I think you ride the hot streak right now. 7 home runs in 93 paid appearances. He's been very valuable so far.
He has, and yet still going into today with 6 walks versus 23 Ks. The Ks were still there, like you said, down from the minors, but you get a long way to go.
Yeah, it's coming, but I think he's a ride him while he's hot kind of guy. Speaking of ride him while he's hot kind of guy, I looked up and Liover Peguero had 3 home runs for the Pirates yesterday in Coors Field. Any interest here in a pickup of Peguero?
No, it's just Coors Field run. Maybe I could be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong copious times this year. So
he's never hit more than 14 home runs at any level.
Right. He's getting playing time now, but he's not like the clear starter at any position either, though.
A guy you mentioned earlier, who I think is mildly interesting this week, is Coby Mayo in Baltimore. He got a benefit from some of the trades that were made. Cedric Mullins moving out. Ryan Mountcastle will be back this week. They sound like not right away this week, but a little bit later in the week. But I gotta think that the Orioles now, they're out of it. They're buried. They got to give Mayo just a run of playing time, right? Let's see what he can do. I know it's been rough so far this year, but it's just been so in and out of the lineup. He wasn't good in AAA either, but this is one of their bigger prospects. Had 25 home runs in AAA last year, or across the minors, I guess, last year. But I think they just give him some playing time, right? Can we just play him for 2 months?
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you. We did have like managerial comments, like we got to play Ramon Urias. I mean, the front office at least took care of that and traded him away to improve, move that immovable obstacle there. But
right,
Tyler O'Neill, shockingly enough, is day to day. right now. So that could also help things out a little bit. It's an illness this time. So,
yeah,
I mean, but still.
You're out of it. Like, this is the time to play this guy and see what you have. Like, I just think I like picking him this week because I think they will play him. I think he's going to let him play. And I think that you could run into a hot streak here. I think that the power is real, and I think he's going to play every day. I liked him as an ad this week. Yeah.
K rate's down actually too, 23% this year.
First and third eligible too. Like, I think it's workable.
He's your new Joe Adell.
Joe Adell's struggling right now. He's got to get the batting average up. It's been a rough streak. He was so hot for a while. And now
you just declared victory. It's over. We don't have to go revisit that anymore. It's done. It's a vetted issue.
I'm never one that can admit when it goes badly. But anybody else you liked on offense? I had a bunch of names on here, but they were all kind of. We never really got a lot of guys that opened up significant playing time for the deadline. We mentioned Locklear. We mentioned Mayo, but like Blake Perkins is playing a bunch. Alan Roden maybe in Minnesota gets some playing time. You mentioned Brian Hayes moving us to the small park. Anybody you like this week on offense aside from the guys we talked about so far?
So I picked up Cody Clemens in a league or two.
I like that triple eligibility and going to play every day.
Yeah. I also had Edouard Julien in some of my waterfalls as someone that also might be getting a real chance again. Because remember, they kind of gave up on that one maybe kind of quickly.
He was a pretty hot name in drafts last year. I remember he was like, I think he was like before the 10th round last year.
And this is now another opportunity for them to, just, hey, you have nothing but the only commodity you have right now is playing time.
Yep.
Why aren't you focusing on that? And Keshel's coming back at some point in time, and that's going to make things a little crowded. But at the same time,
I want to go real back to here Clemens. I really like that one. First, second outfield eligibility, 52.5% hard hit rate, 13.5% barrel rate this year. Both significant jumps from last year. I know the batting average is bad, but his BABIP's 219. Like, if he just kind of gets a little bit of luck in this, he's not striking out a lot. 23% down from the last couple of years, hitting the ball hard. That BABIP's going to jump up. I really like the Cody Clemens ad. I think that's in terms of the sneakier, lesser named ad, the guy that falls into a ton of playing time. And Larnach hasn't been good. Wallner's been pretty decent lately, but it hasn't been great. I think Clemens is going to play almost every day. Maybe sit against some lefties is probably a good thing in fantasy-wise if he sits against some tough lefties. I really like that ad by you. That's one of my favorite ones of the week right there.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
the Twins traded a preposterous 10 players away in like a span.
They trade 10 guys? Wow.
Yeah. I think like 9 of them were on trade deadline day itself. There was the Paddock one, which was a couple days earlier.
That's right. Yep.
But I mean, they traded their bullpen basically. They were like them and the Orioles traded like their entire bullpens practically. Yep. If you told me they traded 10 guys, I would have thought they made some huge Joe Ryan trade, but they didn't do that. Nope. And Buxton has got a no trade clause that he won't waive, but he's on the IL because
he's hurt anyway. But it sucks because he's having an awesome year. I hope he can come back, but they're certainly not going to push him back. But yeah, you look at that Twins lineup, it is it's rough up and down. It's not good anymore. Maybe they can even call up Royce Lewis so we can see what he can do. Oh wait, he's been up this whole time. Hard to remember. Wow. That Correa trade was kind of shocking though. I did not see that one coming. That was probably the one that. I thought Mason Mills was going to get traded anyway, but I was surprised by the Correa trade. That was kind of out of nowhere. And back to Houston was pretty wild. Yeah, it was. Yes, he gets the Crawford boxes. Yes, he's rejuvenated with his old team. It's going to be exciting for maybe a month, and then reality will set in again, I think. He has been so blah. Yes. 7 homers, 31 RBIs in 95 games. I mean, he's hitting 267, but he's like just kind of a guy on offense. And he's just not even an exciting one, but just kind of there. Yeah. And the defense, I don't think is quite as good as it used to be. It used to be an awesome shortstop. And so he's going to play third now and Pena play short, right? Yes, correct. Okay. And he even said like he was looking, he was even ready. He goes, we were looking for someone to come up on the Twins to do it. So at least in his mind he was. So there you go. Well, how do you like that? Your boy Taj Bradley gets traded to the Twins. They trade, they're starting Jose Urena in the rotation. They don't call Bradley up. Man, do you think they just like had something to work on him with? Like, how do you call up Jose Urena instead? Like, that's the most like journeyman, no chance. Like, it's just a guy. Like, why don't you think there's like a backstory here? It feels like there has to be, right? Like, yeah. And that was kind of like that's a pretty big price. I mean, Griffin Jackson's really good. That was a 1-for-1 trade, right? Yep. It's weird.
Yeah, Peter makes a good point. The Correa was all about the sale of the team.
Yeah.
Everything about this season has been about the sale of the team. It was supposed to happen in the offseason last year, and then it kind of fell through. And the guy that did it, that they thought they had in line, ended up buying a chunk of the White Sox instead, the owner of the Phoenix Suns.
They got to call Matt Ishbia.
Yeah, and they've been, and
he's done a great job with the Suns. So
yeah. Yeah, but this family that's owned the Twins, they've been terrible for them for a couple of years. Remember, they slashed their budget 2 years ago.
I do remember that. This is after the Pohlads, right? They sold the Pohlads sold it into these guys.
Isn't it still part of the Pohlads?
Oh, is it still part of the Pohlads? Because they were like the World Series
Peter would know.
at the time.
Yeah, but I think it's still part. It's like the scions of the Pohlad.
Okay.
And basically, they want out of the baseball business, and it's
Peter Shanky,
yep.
Twins fan, right? And still the Pohlads. All right.
Yeah, and they the thing is, like, 2 years ago they cut it, and they're like, oh, it's a business decision, but this blah blah, and they just like handcuffed the front office right at the most improper time, right when they are starting to get exciting and make this run. Attendance is terrible there. They've really destroyed the team, and it's really
sucks because they had a really fun team a couple years, and they have a beautiful ballpark. That's a great place to watch games.
This is really like a sequel for the HBO show. I mean, they're just not serious people.
Yeah, I got that one. Anybody else you want to talk about? I feel like you've kind of hit everything plus so far tonight. But anything else you want to talk about? Anything else on your mind? We hit a lot of stuff, but anything else?
No, I'm good.
Beautiful. Well, Jeff, always fun to chat baseball with you. Appreciate everybody listening. There were 9 million things in the chat. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them. We tried to get as many as we could. We really appreciate all the chat. It's so fun to see everybody in there. So we appreciate that. If you're listening to us on the audio version, we really appreciate that as well. So other than that, hope you can please rate or review the podcast. We appreciate that. Other than that, we'll be at you next Sunday talking more baseball. Hope everybody has a really good week and a good fantasy week, and take care.